Good morning. Welcome to Christmas Eve. I'm Belinda and this is Belinda's Baubles Vlogmas Day 24. I apologize for the missing day 23. I got home from work last night, laid down on the bed to talk to Sam about some edits for his conclusion to his story, and I passed out. So it's just the way it is. It was a really rough day yesterday in the retail world. But thank you very much for joining me today. And I have my advents down here so we can open them. I have the story printed and we can find out the conclusion to whether or not we think God believes in Santa Claus. The grandkids are asleep for the moment, but people are starting to wake up. So if there's extra noises, I've got dishwasher going, laundry going, all the stuff I was planning on doing last night, I'm doing this morning before heading out to the parents' house for our family Christmas. So grab your cup. I have my coffee. Found one Christmas mug that's not dirty. And let's get started. I need that. Okay. So, day 23 for my Scrappy Advent. As you can see from the tree, I still have 2 ornaments on it. I gave up on that for this year. There's just some years that you can be, all the emotions are changed from year to year. And so I'm giving myself a pass. I didn't even get the Christmas box out. This is the decorations we're going to have, and it's going to be part of the memory for this year. There's something in bubble wrap. I kept feeling something. I'm like, what is that? We'll look at that in a second. I want to see the yarn first. Oh, wow. It's a light mauve. Hey, the color's better down here. I may have to start recording with y'all down here instead of... No, I like my space. Let's see what's in here. Oh, wow. A little piece of pottery bowl with knit stitches. Isn't that beautiful? And it's by Lisa Traux, T-R-U-A-X, with Utopia Fiber Shop. There you go. If you're interested in something like this. I'm assuming that's going to be in Wisconsin. I guess I should put the stitches correct. There we go. Here's the V's. And day 24. My little elves are starting to wake up. Let's see what we've got for in here. Oh, wow. Now that's a beautiful Christmassy color. And see what other goodies we got in this Advent. Oh, I got some more Door County Gourmet Cocoa Chocolate Mint. That other one was amazing, especially with whipped cream on top. And a handmade ornament. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Well, at least I'll have 3 ornaments on the tree this year. That is just so gorgeous. I love it. Okay. So I guess since I have an extra viewer behind the camera today, she may get one of these chocolates out of the Advent. I'll make sure you get it. Let me find it first. I gotta find day 23. Oh, there we go. most of the doors are open and I'm still having trouble finding them. Okay. Oh, so day 23 is one of the Lent chocolate bars. My assistant off the camera. Here we go. And let's see. Day 24, which is right here in the middle. And it's what I was hoping it was. The bear that we've all been heading towards, hiding behind his little thing. So that's going to be for later. All right, well, that's all the Advents other than day 25, which is back here underneath the Christmas tree. And so next up, we're going to have our story, but I'm going to take a quick break. Welcome back. So now we will have the conclusion to Does God Believe in Santa Claus? A short story by Sam Stone. Okay, boys and girls, young and old, is everyone comfy in their favorite chair? If you need a bit, that's okay. Take your time. While everyone is settling in, why don't we use this time to go over what we've learned? So who wants to go first and remind us what special holiday we've been studying over the last few weeks? Okay, Mary. By the way, did you know that your name has a special significance to our story today? What is the holiday that we're talking about? No, not New Year's Day. Have you been here the last 3 weeks? But you're almost right. New Year's is coming soon. Okay, over there. Alex, do you remember our story? Oh, I'm sorry. You were just raising your hand to get a drink of water? That's okay. Go ahead. But come back soon. You don't want to miss this. One last chance. Who knows the holiday that we're thinking about?
I know. It's Christmas.
That's right. But I don't think it was fair of you to answer, Mr. Sam. Right?
Sorry.
Go to your corner and think about what you did. Then you can come back out when you think you can behave.
Okay.
I will give him credit. Christmas is coming, and we have been studying what God thinks of Santa Claus. You know, almost all of us have grown up just absolutely knowing that Santa is very real. How else could all the kids' presents magically show up on Christmas Day? My mom and dad always stayed up after they tucked us into bed, and I'm not sure, but I think they made sure the chimney flue was open and then went to bed right after us. Otherwise, Santa might have had trouble sliding down the chimney. But I was always confused when I got up real early on Christmas Day. There were presents under the tree, but the fireplace was still smoldering from the night before. Just leaving gifts for us kids must have been Santa's encore. He really did do magic. Well, Seaver, Mr. Sam, and I think we may have an answer to Does God Believe in Santa Claus? We say yes, he does. But before we go any further, it's important for me and the rest of us that you know it's okay if you believe differently. After our time together over the last 4 weeks, I just hope you will take a minute or two to think about what you truly believe in your own heart and mind. So here's why we think God probably believes in Santa Claus. It seems to us that while God was busy creating so many wonderful things in his incredible universe, it's not such a stretch of the imagination to think he may have thrown in a bunch of stuff as a fun bonus. If you believe in God, you believe in his word. He created heaven and earth, the firmament. He simply spoke the words, and the sun came on like a light bulb. Thinking that part through, does the Bible say anything about God creating Santa Claus? Not exactly. But does it say anything about God creating frogs? You, your best friend, me? Yeah, it kind of does. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. It's a pretty good start, don't you think? But it didn't say he created Austin, Jim, Bob, Jim Bob, Alyssa, Shauna, Seaver, Mr. Sam, or me. Or does it? I think it does because that's what Mr. Sam wrote right here, which is a nice page turn. Actually, after explaining the many, many miraculous things in the Old Testament, the New Testament added a more specific verse that says this: "For by him all things are created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible." All things. I know I'm real. I know you're real. And we were just reminded that God created all things. That's you and me. So how does that say anything about Santa? Have you ever been in a store or a mall, and in the most visible place where every kid has to pass by, there was a jolly old Santa taking pictures with everyone who asked, or more likely paid? Has there ever been a movie made with Santa in it? What about a book? There's also a gazillion commercials during the Christmas season. Where Santa tries to sell you a new car, a Barbie doll that speaks 3 languages and doubles as a hunting knife. And you can probably think of many more examples. Those are good answers too. But that's not how it all started. Last week we found out Christmas started hundreds and hundreds of years ago because a pope, some anonymous scholars, and a guy named Saint Nick got together and decided that's the way it's going to be. All of that is true. It's history, and it's well documented. But it's not really when, where, or why, or how Christmas really began. God's word is quite clear. Christmas. In some languages, that literally translates as Christ more or more Christ. It started when a man took his betrothed, who was expecting a baby any second, with him on a riveting, very exciting out-of-town trip to pay his taxes. Aren't you glad we don't have to leave town to pay taxes on time? Presumably, he even let her ride the family donkey. But I'm not sure about that. If you believe in God, then you already know they got as far as this town called Bethlehem. But when he asked for a room at the inn, the guy just pointed to a barn somehow thinking he was doing them a favor. Not exactly something to brag about. Actually, that humble, unnamed innkeeper was doing everyone in this whole universe we've been talking about a huge favor. Can we agree it had to be that way? A man, a woman, a donkey, and a stable parked somewhere behind an inn where I like to believe an infinite number of unseen angels were watching in total, unrestrained awe. Respect reserved only for the elite of heaven itself, something the world would celebrate forever. The singer named Carmen said Jesus had the power to split time itself in half. BC, AD, I paraphrase that a little. There in the middle of an animal stable, the family donkey, a little hay, some watering troughs, and the nasty, odoriferous environment. A most incredible birth occurred. That is the one true, actual first Christmas. All of these things are part of God's kindness, His grace and mercy. Of course, that's not the end of the story. The story. God already knew Jesus. He knew the guy that denied 2 people proper room and board and sent them out back where he didn't have to give them room service. God knew the friends Jesus was going to have growing up. The money changers in the tabernacle, the soldiers with the hammer and stakes, and the one holding the spear that would one day pierce the side of the most important man in all of history. The man born in the stable on the relatively unofficial first Christmas. This baby was the Christ that was promised from the other very beginning. Christ can be considered a title, and at the first Christmas, it was a much better known title. But God also knew a lot of other things. He knew mankind would consciously or otherwise almost forget the Christ of Christmas. So He brought the Pope and the other people together to declare a Christmas to combat man's amnesia. History says it worked for a while. But people are people, not holy, and especially fond of proving ourselves flaky, wishy-washy. Is it too much to ask to believe that God picked someone, just one, and gave this guy a red suit, some black boots, a fantastical story, and a mission? Was his job going out and preaching God and the remembrance of the Christ and the holiday bearing His name? That part is no. I think we may be missing the point. I asked once before, does any of the story about Santa really matter? Again, no. God didn't appoint a real or imaginary person to go and spread the good news about Christmas. Mr. Sam believes in Santa because ultimately God Himself is the only one who could give this incredible, important job to a kind of weird but jolly old man in a silly red suit who lives at the North Pole with a bunch of mini helpers. How Santa got reindeer, a sleigh, and the magical talent of visiting every child's home all over the world is cool. But that isn't the real story here, is it? Giving us the choice to remember Christ, even if just once a year. Believing that God, in the stunning display of heavenly wisdom, gave us a way to celebrate Jesus and give each other presents at the same time. Giving us the choice to remember Christ, even if just once a year. Believing that God, in a stunning display of heavenly wisdom, gave us a way to celebrate Jesus and give each other presents at the same time is important. Now, please don't misunderstand me. In no way am I saying that Jesus and Santa are in some kind of competition. The sad thing is that there are people, some good people, who may or may not believe in Jesus or Santa. So for them, the easy thing is to give Santa all their attention. So the moral of the story could be that believing in Santa may be important for adults and kids. You can stop jumping up and down, waving your hands in the air, Mr. Sam. I don't know whether you're considered an adult or a child. You may never grow up. Mr. Sam thinks Santa is important because he's not important. He could have been anyone. God could have chosen any one of us, and we're real. Maybe Santa has another superpower. Not exactly an Avenger, but the power to make us believe in more important things. If it helps us remember the first Christmas by believing in Santa, those of us who know God can take time to think about the true story behind what we believe about the baby we celebrate. The end of our story, then, is that it's okay to believe or not believe in Santa. But God created either a real Santa or the story of Santa. Not to substitute for Christ, but to remember. To remember to celebrate, to come together at least one day a year to love and hug and give big old sloppy kisses to our family and friends. See, it comes back to we can believe in Santa, but know where our hearts should be. So for all the reasons we've talked about these 4 weeks, I think I believe in Santa. That's our story, everybody. I hope you found something to think about. Thank you so very much for sharing these days with me and my family. But more than any gift we can give each other, let Seaver, myself, and Mr. Sam offer the greatest gift of all time. No, not a new car, and not Santa. We want to offer you the Christ of Christmas. It's up to you to believe what you choose to believe. So good night, sleep tight, and have a merry, merry Christmas. Thank you very much for spending this time with us, and I'll see you soon.